This is another great recipe on our holiday appetizers and sides menu. This is honestly, this is worth just the whole thing in general. This is the butternut squash and apple fritters with a spicy maple crema. So it's like an explosion of like fall flavors in your mouth. And I want to show you guys, I have some of it prepared, but I want to show you some of the things, of the nuances of the recipe. So here we have a green apple that I'm just going to put on this box grater here. You know, this is a great job that your kids could do. You know, they could peel the apple and shred it for you, right? Just watch their little fingers on the grater, right? These things are pretty sharp, actually. But the idea here is almost like this is a pancake mix where everything is going to go in one big bowl, and you're going to dollop it into, you know, a shallow pond of oil, hot oil. So that's kind of tough with your kids. Can't have them do that. But all right, so here's our apple here. All right, that looks good. Just gonna put my hand a little bit. But what I want to show you here is that what you have to do is kind of just squeeze all of the excess moisture out, because there's a lot. We do fritters with Culinary Works every season, I feel like. All right, so look at all that moisture. A little fresh apple juice for you, right? Okay, so there's your apple. That looks good. We're actually going to be making two versions too. We're going to do one batch that's gluten-free and one that's regular. So we're just going to divide the recipe in half and do it that way. So first thing we have here, let's see. So we are going to, oh, I'm sorry. Hello, the squash, like the most important part. Okay, so this squash is spiralized, and that's going to make it a lot easier for this particular dish. So this is all going to come out here. I bought it just like this because otherwise, I'm going to maybe do it in two piles here because this is going to be a little unruly. Look at that. Pretty cool looking. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this in half, and then I'm just going to start chopping. So watch, this is just your normal slice that you've seen me do before. You know, nothing new. Remember, look at the knife skills video for little tips. So we're just going to keep chopping here. You know, just going to go into our rough chop so this gets nice and small. And then I'll see you back here in a couple minutes. Welcome back. We are working on our butternut squash and apple fritters here. So we finished chopping all that spiralized squash here. You can see it's in the bowl with the egg. I'm going to go ahead and add the shredded apple, you know, that we squeezed the juice out of. I'm going to go ahead and add the onion. It's about a cup of onion. So I'm hoping this bowl's going to be big enough. We'll see. My daughter frequently mixes things in bowls that are way too small, and it annoys the heck out of me. Just saying. Okay, so there goes our cheese. Let's see. So baking powder. A little bit of baking powder just for a little bit of leavening, right? So baking powder helps it rise. Some sage. I just want to show you how to chop the sage really quick too, just so you guys kind of see that. Sage is obviously the epitome of fall, like we were discussing. But anyway, so here's our sage leaves here. Okay, so you can kind of stack them up next to each other. And we're just going to slice. So remember this, the back of the knife, okay, like we've done a lot of our videos before. Just little slices, just like this. Back of the knife, just like this, okay? See? Just like that. I got to keep my eyes on my fingers too. Just like that, okay? And then I might go one more time, you know, a little bit through, just like that. And that's actually a lot of sage in this particular recipe. It's like 3 tablespoons, which you guys probably think is a lot, which it kind of is, but okay, so there's the 3rd tablespoon there. So that's gonna go in. We can push this to the side. So the sage, definitely some, you know, hot or cracked pepper. A little bit of pepper. Okay, good. Some salt for sure. Definitely gonna need salt. So 1, 2, one more little one for good luck. All right, so I'm gonna mix this up here. So we're gonna combine this really well. And then what's gonna happen is I'm gonna take out half and I'm gonna mix in the 2 different flours. So I'm gonna mix this well, take out 1/2, add the gluten-free flour, and then, you know, add the regular flour to the other half. And then we'll meet you back here in a minute. So we have our 2 batters here, and I ended up adding 1 more egg because of the way we did the flour. it just ended up being too dry. You definitely don't want the batter to be really dry. You can see here it's a little bit wet here, right? And then the same thing for the other one here. It's a little bit wet. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. You're looking for it to be like a really thick pancake batter. The oil is heating up here, and the one way I'm going to test it, which actually I think it's going to be fine because so it's going to be fine. So we're going to start to add the batter here. We're going to do the gluten-free ones first, and we're just going to dollop it a little bit at a time, each one. And actually this squash that came spiralized, I really prefer the thinner noodle for the squash, not this really thick one, but you know, whatever, you can always get what you want, right? So you just have to kind of go with it. Now, this is the kind of thing when you're pan frying. You put it in and you leave it alone. You don't touch it, you don't play with it. Just put it in and leave it. Let it brown on its own naturally, okay? And if you saw the video where I did about all the tools, you'll see this is a situation where, you know, a small little item and this small little spatula is going to work great. So while those are browning, we're just going to kind of let them go. The heat's like, you know, medium. We're going to make our spicy maple crema. So we're going to take some sour cream here, like a little dollop of sour cream there. We are going to add in some sriracha. And, you know, honestly, this is like however much you want. Like, if you like it spicy, then, you know, add more. If you want it more sweet, then, you know, you can add a little more sweet. So a little bit of maple syrup. So it's probably about a tablespoon of both, really, actually. And then I'm going to mix, mix, mix. All right, so those are looking fine. Again, just patience. Let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. I turned the heat up a little bit. I just got a little nervous there, but it's fine. I can smell the sriracha. It smells great. Hey, look. Let me taste it for you. It's good. It's such a kind of weird combination because it's spicy, and yet it's cool from the sour cream, and then you get, you know, the sweetness from the maple syrup. So that's good. So that's a great garnish. Okay, so let's take a look here. Check our first one that we put down first. Almost. So just another 30 seconds or so. And then also what's really important here that I have over here is a brown paper bag. So a brown paper bag, the inside of the bag that's nice and clean. It's really much better to, when you're pan frying something, to use a paper bag as opposed to paper towels. Paper towels, you know, they don't stay as crisp. I feel like paper bags are much better. All right, so I think we're pretty close here. So let's take a look. Oh, that looks good. So they're nice and brown. See, they're flipping very easily, okay? Using two spatulas definitely does help because it's the kind of thing where you don't want to pick it up and then flip it literally because the oil would really splatter and that would hurt. Oh, look, I think they were a little puffy, like they've risen nicely. That's, you know, some really, you know, kind of pretty color. It looks good. And these are the kind of things too. Like if you did make them, you know, I'm sure somebody's going to ask, like, could you make them in advance? Absolutely, no problem. You can make them in advance. Though when you do reheat these kind of things, anything that's fried, you want to reheat it on a cooling rack on a sheet pan, okay, so that air can get underneath. So we'll just give these another minute. They look great. It's got, you know, like that kind of crunchy crust there. And so I probably would say, you know, maybe like, what do you think, about 5 minutes?
Yeah, give or take.
I mean, give or take about 5 minutes, about two, you know.
Depends on how big they are.
Yeah, it depends how big they are. And, you know, anytime I have men make these, of course, they end up being huge. And I'm like, oh, God, so typical. Women, like, make them a little smaller. You know, men come in, like, you know, this huge fritter. I'm like, oh, good Lord. But anyway, we make fritters all, you know, all times of the year, right, Brooke?
Totally.
Brooke is my camera woman, set director. What else, Brooke?
Just help with everything.
Right, prep cook. We decided that
Those look done.
Yeah, so they look done. They look great. Okay. And again, like, you know, la-di-da, like gluten-free, which is like fantastic and yummy yum. So I'm going to keep going here. All right. I'm going to add a couple little more here. So this is what you do. So you let those go. You keep going, right? Add a little bit more. We keep going. That one's a little bigger. again, put them in, leave them alone, don't play with them, don't mess with them. Okay, that looks good. Let those go. Adjust my heat a little bit. Just let them go, they look good. Let me show you the crema. You can kind of see here and get the idea. I'll get a little, all right, I got a little cutting board here to serve these. Pretty as a picture. If you brought these at a round of party holidays, people are going to say, what is that over there? So the crema goes on top. You can hear those frying away over there. All right. Oh, one more. So look at that. All right, looks awesome. All right, so we're going to keep frying. I'm going to give one of these a try. It's a little hot. Let me see. Maybe I'll try it now. It's delicious. Like the sage, the apple, the squash. This is a home run recipe. Give it a try this holiday season. So one really important thing I want to make sure you guys understand when you're pan frying something, your oil has to be hot enough that when your item goes in, it kind of immediately starts to kind of sizzle. Okay, if it doesn't, if it kind of just gets in there and it's limp, it's going to soak up the oil. Okay, so, and when you're done, like kind of your batch or your multiple batches, there should be a fair amount of oil left. Like you should be ended up with a lot of oil. Okay, you shouldn't like have to replace too much of the oil. So as you can see here, like I still have a fair amount of oil in here, and I barely even like, I added a little bit more, but really not that much. And you know, they're frying like just perfectly. So, and then one last thing about these fritters, I mentioned to you about the squash. I really do like the spiralized squash that's a little thinner, so I definitely prefer the smaller squash. And then when they come out of the oil, a little salt on top, okay? Because anytime something is pan fried or fried, when it comes out, a little salt on top.